Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Business Without Borders. My name is Angie Snowball Thompson, and I will be your host today. As you know, our series has been about traveling around the world and traveling through different industries to see how everyone has adjusted to the new world post-pandemic. And a lot of people found that after working from home, they didn't want to go back. And what are your options when you don't want to go back? Well, one of those is business coaching. If you're a very experienced professional, why not share that with people who are just getting off the ground? However, there are a lot of questions if you want to be a business coach: how to do it, when to do it, am I qualified? So I have brought on today a very qualified expert, Mr. Todd Eppert, to help us talk about some of these myths. So let's start today, Todd, with a little introduction of yourself and what you do.
Sure, Angie, thanks a lot. So your story sounds very familiar. After 20 plus years in the corporate world, I realized I just didn't like being on the treadmill. And quite honestly, one of the big things for me was that my values were different than the corporate's values. And so I struggled. So I left the corporate world in 17 and found business coaching as a profession in early 18. And I've been doing that ever since. And I think I answered your question.
He did. But Todd also, so he does business coaching as well as helps other people get into business coaching. And he works with FocalPoint. And anyone who's watched my show knows it's not the first time I've talked to FocalPoint. And the reason I choose them is because it's a very structured way to become a business coach. They have training, they have certifications. So they answer a lot of the difficult parts of starting off on your own. And Todd, I know one thing I hate and really struggled with when I started my own business, because I didn't have a franchise to choose from. You know, there's not a lot of teaching English as a second language franchises. So I kind of had to do this on my own. And my biggest struggle was cold calling. I hate cold calling to this day. I hate cold calling, but getting started, I had to. Like, there wasn't a lot of options. So how would you say FocalPoint answers the cold calling dilemma?
Yeah, that's a great question, Angie. And quite honestly, I probably could have given you a little bit more background. So my background was operations. I never did selling and marketing in my professional career. And so, yeah, so when I was thinking about starting a business on my own, I was fearful of all selling and marketing techniques because I'd never done it before.
Yeah.
So FocalPoint was invaluable in all of those areas. They gave me a lot of training support. They gave me models on what to follow. And when it came to cold calling, the simple answer is don't do it. And so in our model, when we go out and call people, it's really more of an announcement to people that we already know. And we call that the champions network. And so those are the people that already know, like, and trust you. And so those might be neighbors or friends or people you go to a church with or do some kind of a not-for-profit activity with, or old professional people that you've worked with. And so early on in my coaching practice in early 18, all the calls I made were to friends, family, and people that already knew me. And so I never felt like I was cold calling. I was simply reaching out and saying, hey, I just want to let you know what's going on in life. How are you doing? What's going on in your life? And it was really it was an excuse, quite honestly, for me to get back in touch with people that I probably wasn't doing a great job of keeping in touch with in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's what led to my early clients. And that's one of the things we recommend, is to really reach out to that champions network.
And it sounds somewhat silly or simple, I guess, but sometimes people, they know that they need to do this, but they don't know what to say, or they don't know how to do it. There's always kind of that missing step. And if I understand it right, FocalPoint actually helps you with that step as well, like actual wording of what to do. Should it be a phone call? Should it be an email? How you do that? They help you with that as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So there's scripts and there's models, and then obviously you can make it your own, but they give you a lot of direction and help you with kind of a basic template. And if the template isn't working, you can always tweak it a little bit. The other thing I found was that the bigger help that I got probably early on in the calling process was, ironically, I thought everyone on my LinkedIn account was my friend. Why would they want to talk to me, right? I mean, these thousands of people. And without the mentors and the guidance and the support of FocalPoint, I would have kept on trying to make appointments with people that really didn't know, like, and trust me. I was just kidding myself. And so they really helped me hone that list down to a really group of lists, the people that I could call and get answers and start talking to immediately. And so they helped in a lot of different ways in that process.
And I know, I think everybody knows I have a focal point coach as well. So one of the things that brought me to it was also the scorecards.
Mm.
So no one right away said, "Hey, I'm going to be your business coach. Do you want to chat with me?" The messaging was really good and said, "How are you doing? How's your business doing? Do you want to take an assessment?" So Focal Point also provides you with those tools as well. I think there's two different kinds of scorecards that I know, but I thought that was interesting help too, that they offer those. Have you used those? Have those been successful for you?
Absolutely, yeah. So the assessments are really a starting point for a great conversation. So I think they're also eye-opening to the people that take them. It provides the opportunity for the business owner or the executive to really get out the mirror and kind of look at themselves and score themselves. And it's kind of funny. Sometimes you get the scores back and you'll reach out to someone and you'll talk to them and they'll go, "I don't have that problem." And I'm like, "Well, I didn't fill out your assessment. You did." So it's a very easy conversation because it's their numbers, it's their own
Right.
grading of themselves. There are no right and wrong answers. It's literally, how do you feel about where you are in these, parts of your business or part in your career? And it gives us a great launching point to have great conversations. And then the conversation model that we use when we walk through these assessments is also, it's not scripted, but there's certainly guidance and there's certainly like we do a lot of role playing as we're coming on board to practice those models, to make those words and to make that process our own. And that was also really invaluable to me. Again, not having a selling and marketing background, I never feel like I'm selling at this point. I just follow the process, and it's really about onboarding clients rather than selling to somebody. So
And yeah, and that's invaluable, I think, for people that want to start out as a business coach, but are a little bit nervous about the selling or the marketing. And you mentioned marketing, so we talked a lot about the not cold calling, but Focal Point also does a great deal of marketing. It's one of the most recognized brands. If you Google it, their ad is one of the first that pops up, and that's all done for you. That's not something that Todd has. Now you can obviously do more and individualize, as Todd said, make it your own, but there's a lot of things that are done for you. So if you're somebody out there that's thinking about becoming a business coach, Todd here is a super nice guy, easy to talk to, my buddy, so I recommend him. And there's lots of other Focal Point coaches that are also friends of mine that you can talk to about getting started. But I can't think of a better way to get started. I mean, a lot of the things that are so difficult, the hurdles to jump over when you start, are already put in place for you. The training's there, there's tools there, no cold calling, just onboarding. I mean, what more could you want? Okay, so before I wrap up, Todd, is there anything else that you'd like to add? Something I may have forgotten?
no, I mean, I think you're asking really good questions, Angie. I mean, that is a big fear for a lot of people. Anytime you go into entrepreneurship and start your own thing, you're going to have a lot of questions and concerns. And it's certainly not for everybody, but for the right people, the concern of cold calling and how to get clients is very well maintained or well managed and taught and supported in a model like Focal Point. And so, if you're interested in starting your own business, I recommend obviously to look at a franchise, because they do have proven models, like you mentioned at the beginning, and they have the support structures and things like that. And when it's the right fit for business coaching, we're certainly good for that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did do another video on Focal Point that talked a little bit more about that, the support system. So if you're interested, please check out that video as well. Once again, I highly recommend it as a great place to start if you're one of those people that are interested in business coaching. So Todd, thank you again for being here today and sharing all of your knowledge. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I hope to see you again next week.